Well, hey friends, welcome back to Watavue Mountain. You guessed it. Yep, we're back at the mountain today. Short weekend. Sean and I just drove up for this morning to try to get some work knocked out. So yeah, absolutely beautiful day. It's about 47 degrees right now. As you can see, the sun is shining bright right in my face. So absolutely wonderful day to be out here doing work. We're truly blessed to be doing this kind of work today. So yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. We're super stoked to have you along on this build series with us. So if you're enjoying it, hit the like button down below. Definitely leave some comments. Let me know where we're making mistakes, because we know we're making mistakes. So just let us know. So enough of me rambling. Thanks for coming. Get yourself something warm to drink, because I'm sure it's cold wherever you are, if it's chilly here. And sit back, relax, and let's get to busy. So what's the task at hand today? First things first, guess what I just found? We come over to the south side. You guessed it, it's the spring to the stapler that went flying off into the woods. So I found it. So now we have two staplers, yay. Anyhow, that's not the task at hand today. The task today is, you guessed it, I want to get these gable ends done. I'm tired of this thing being open. I'm ready to close these off and get that house wrap on and get this thing dried in. Because we just had another set of storms come through, and a little more moisture on this OSB. It's okay. Nothing seems to be damaged. It just will make me feel better to have at least that house wrap on there to make it a little more weatherproof. Yeah, so enough of me rambling. Let's grab the camera. Let's go on inside and show you how we're going to lay this out so we can get these studs put up and hopefully get, like I said, get that OSB out here. So let's go inside. In order to try to keep my brain from exploding from too much math, what we're gonna do is something that I've seen several of the professionals do, and we all know that we're not the professionals, so if they're doing it, it must be right. I'm gonna just go up on top of the top plate, and I'm just gonna scribe my marks over the top so that essentially we're just gonna extend these studs all the way up. So then I'm gonna get a 2x4 and I'm gonna nail it across the face of that last truss. So if this is that last truss going up, not the fly rafter, rafter. If this is the last rafter, I'm gonna nail it just like that. So our studs can stay like this instead of like this, right? Because if we put our studs like this, they won't be nearly as sturdy as if we put them like this on that top plate. So I'm gonna make my lines across here. I'm gonna go up and we'll put the a 2x4 all the way up, and we'll cut the ends. It should be at a 45-degree angle at the end, so it'll fit nicely. And then we'll start placing these 2x4s up there. So let me climb up there first and use the speed square just to mark where we're gonna put these studs going all the way up. I'm just gonna take this speed square, I'm gonna put it flush right here. Gonna make a mark there. I can put it flush on this side, make a mark here, come back on the top, and make my lines. So this right here is where that stud is gonna go from here straight up to this truss. I'm not gonna measure right now though, because like I said, I'm gonna take a 2x4 and put it flush on here. I did see a fancy way of doing it where you could cut around this, but I don't think my math skills are that good. So we're not gonna do that. So mark here, I'm gonna go all the way along the top here, mark all of these out, just like I just did. Mark here, right, mark here. And then what this also does for us, other than just give us structural stability all the way up, is also keeps us at 16 on center, so when we put our sheet goods up, it'll line up so that we have something to nail it to. So let me go all the way across here, get this side marked out, and then we'll go on from there. So we measured the template, and I climbed up there to the tippity tip top. I should have kept that scaffolding for just a little bit longer. I think we'll be okay, fingers crossed. 138 inches from tip to tip. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand this board up. I'm gonna cut this at a 45 degree here. to go up to that peak, and it'll meet the other 45 degree on the other side. And then I'm gonna cut the bottom, the opposite 45 degree angle, so that it sits on the ledge, on the upper top plate down here at the bottom. And then all of the studs that come up will just nail right into this. So let's get the generator fired up and get this bad boy cut. All right, so nice and flush. I got it at the 45 here. Now we're gonna slide this over. I'm gonna measure out that 137.5. I gotta turn this around the other way now, remember? Because I want the opposite 45 on this end. We had to pause because Sean had to hold the tape measure. I can't do it all. All right, so I made my mark right here at 137.5. Like I said, I'm gonna leave it just a titch short because I need some flex room, I believe. We'll see. So I'm gonna line my mark up. And there you go. We vanished the mark in half. So now let's climb back up there and see if this bad boy is gonna fit in place. So we climbed up there, tried to fit this, and even though we measured and we had what we thought was an accurate measurement, we were still off. So on the long end, it's almost 2.25 inches. You see that scribble? That scribble line right there is the center of the ridge board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to cut this at a 45 again, and this piece right here is going to go away, and then we'll try to dry fit it in there again before we try to nail it, because we can always take more away, we just can't add more, right? I always say it over and over. So let's again, I'm going to fire up the generator, get this piece cut, let's climb back up there and see what happens. So we got this plate on that's going to connect our rafters as we run them up from the top plate up. So now we've already marked out our 16s on center right over here. So now I'm going to just take this tape measure, I'm going to put it right on the edge of that 16 on center, put my little level, and we're going to go till we get our bubble centered. There we go. So that's 13 inches. So right there you see 13 on the long side. So we're going to cut a 45-degree angle at the top of this, and it'll be flush, square cut flush, 90 degrees on the bottom, 13 on the long side, and let's see if it fits. We're tooting along pretty good. That side's coming along nice. We got those in place. I realized as I came over to the other side on the east side though, what's wrong with this picture here? You see, make sure you don't make this mistake. That's sticking out, I don't know what that is, an inch. It's way too far. So I need to move this board. This is the board that I'm gonna run those studs up to, that's connected to that last rafter. So what I gotta do is I'm gonna go now, before I connect anything to it, I'm gonna cut these nails out. I'm gonna move it over so it's flush with this board. Otherwise, you see right here's our OSB outside material. That's not gonna sit flush if I don't move this over. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, slide it over, re-nail it, and then we'll start running our studs all the way up. There you have it, they're all in place. I might come back later and put some more bracing here, because I think I mentioned it earlier, we just have that ridge board, not a ridge beam. So I might double stack or triple stack another, put 2x4s on each side of this and each side of this, and then plate this later. I don't have to do it right now because I can come back later and do it from the inside. It's not something I have to do from the outside. So yeah, so let's flip over to the other side. Well, let me and the boss talk. See if we're gonna sheet this now, or if we're gonna flip the other side and get those studs run all the way up. We'll be back. Take a break, drink some water. After a little bit of a debate and some review of some YouTube videos on how to figure out the sheeting, right, for the gable end walls. You'd think it'd be easy, you just throw a sheet up, right? But it's not that easy, because we got 104 inches in the center, we got the 12-12 pitch, you know, what angle, where does it meet at 8 feet, all that kind of stuff. Because I was just gonna take a sheet, throw it straight up there, and fill in the gaps around it. After I watched some videos on YouTube, I decided that's probably not the move. So what I did is I made this little scab piece right here, and I measured up 2.5 inches, cut at a 45-degree angle, crawled up the ladder, set it in place, and it fits perfectly. So I'm gonna use that just kind of as this corner marker starter, right? That I have it in place. I'm gonna do my little line here. Well, if I can do that without jacking it up. And then I know that I need another point to run a chalk line to, so I know where to continue to cut the 45 to across this sheet. So we have a 12-12 pitch roof, right? So if I measure over 12 inches, right here's 1 foot, right there on that dot, and then I measure up 1 foot, right there, right? So we have a 12-12 pitch, so I should be able to just continue my cut right along that line all the way up to the end. So let me measure over a couple more just to make sure that it's all going to line up straight, and then we'll do some cutting. So here you see I measured up my 2.5 inches there, got my straight edge, so I got my speed square showing that 45, because that's where we're at. We're at a 12-12 pitch, which is 45 degrees, and I got my marks here that are showing it, you know, over a foot, up a foot, over a foot, up a foot. That's the way the 12-12 pitch works. And I'm just going to use this clamp cutting edge that I just got to scratch my line, and then I'll finish it off on the other side there with the speed square. Then we'll get this bad boy cut out. All right, let's tote it over there and see if she fits. Well, we got our angle wrong, so back to the drawing board. Let me see if I can get this thing straight. So, as you can see, we got all these scabbed in, pieces, parts. We're gonna have to do better up top there with some other pieces. I'll come back later and take care of that. Or I still haven't decided if we're gonna do like those bird boxes or whatever you call it to block that in, or what we're gonna do there, but we gotta do something. So, yeah, so I think we're gonna call it there for today. Like I said, I've just been getting frustrated. I don't know why, it's just absolutely eluding me how to finish in those gable ends. So we're just gonna pack up some stuff tonight, cover everything up in case the weather comes in, go get something to eat, and we'll be back bright and early in the morning. So go get you some rest. We'll see you back here in the AM. Well, good morning. We're back at it again. Balmy 36 degrees, a little nip in the air. The wind's blowing just a little bit, and but it feels great. As you can see, the sun is shining. Beautiful day, absolutely beautiful day. We're truly blessed. God has been good to us, except in my search for how to do these gable end wall sheathing. So I found a couple guys, really one guy explained the math, and you thought I struggled with the Pythagorean theorem. You should have seen me trying to figure this stuff out. So what I did was I went to our old friends Jay and Jen and saw how they did it. They didn't really explain it, they just were throwing sheets up, and I was like, you know what, I think that's gonna be the move. So I'm gonna try to salvage that piece that we cut yesterday for this corner over here. I think I can do that math, but I'm gonna do it, I guess, kind of the old school or the hard way. Is I'm gonna just put that jankety ladder back up there. I'm gonna measure, and then I'm gonna measure across to figure out. I think the third stud over here is gonna be about 48 inches, where our 48-inch mark is, which is how wide that sheet of OSB is. So I'll figure that out, figure out the distance. The good thing is we were a couple inches over on the center stud. So the end of the sheet of plywood of the OSB didn't line up right on that stud, which we wanted to do. So I can cut a few inches off of the end that I already jacked up, move everything over, and then come back and get my 45 correct and get my measurements, and then hopefully just flip-flop it, put another sheet in the middle and scab some in, and then we move on to the other side. So let's keep our fingers crossed that it's that easy, because you know, what's the saying? Murphy, that's right. Murphy lives here. He lives right here on this mountain, and he definitely pokes his head out every once in a while. Like I said, with the spring that shot out of the stapler last week, found it yesterday, but it took me an hour to go into town, get a new stapler. Anyhow, no crying over spilt milk around here. Enough of me jabbering. Let's hit the time lapse and let's get to busy. So not pretty, it's done though. Had to scab a couple pieces in, but we got it closed in. I think it'll be okay. We're gonna use spray foam, so even though I have over here on this first thing, I have a little gap right there, maybe a 1/4 of an inch. The spray foam will cover that up. Everything else though is pretty solid. So right now I'm gonna climb up there. I'm gonna cut these curtains off the ends. I left them a little too long, so I'm gonna take the stapler up, cut these off, because the more they flap in the wind, the more they're likely to tear up the rest of the underlayment. So I'm going to climb back up there again and cut that stuff down real quick. We were going to take this ladder down so we can start on the other side and get the get those top plates done for those studs. I'm just tired of moving ladders, so we're going to go ahead and take this. We measured out about 17 feet of this house wrap. I'm going to try to go ahead and climb up there and put it up. This ladder doesn't want to go much higher, so I'm going to have to do some probably not super safe stuff to get this Tyvek underneath that ladder and then get it stapled into place. But it's got to be done because we got to get this place dried in. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, grab you something to drink. This could be interesting. So a little crooked, but we still got enough on this side to underlap, right? Because that will overlap the bottom house wrap once we put it on. So a little crooked, but not too bad for being 30 feet up in the air on a janky ladder. So now let's move inside so we can finish the other side and finally get this thing dried in. So there we go. There's the inside look. You can see a couple gaps, but that's okay. We want some because these are going to expand and contract as they collect moisture, because they're going to. So now we're gonna flip over to the, let's see, I guess this is the north side, and we'll do the same thing. We're gonna run those top plates, I guess you can call them, up and down. Then I'll measure. Sean will cut the studs so we can just continue them from the top plate here all the way up. And then hopefully we can get some more OSB up today. If not though, I think we made some great progress so far. It took me a little while on this south wall, but I think we got it figured out now. And I think hopefully this will go pretty smooth on the north wall, and we'll get this knocked out before we have to head to the house today. So get yourself something to drink. Let's do some work. North side framed in, and it worked out fortuitous that the two studs that are 8 feet apart this way are both 48 inches. So in theory, we all know how this goes in Ed's world, right? I should be able to slide up a piece of 4x8, 8 feet going across this way, 4 feet going that way, and we just nail it in place. And what I didn't do, take into account, was the seams earlier. I'm still gonna have continuous seam on that side and that side, but I don't think I'm gonna get it away with avoiding it here unless I go straight up, which is not gonna happen. So let's grab another sheet, just throw it up there and see what happens.
I'm on it.
Okay. You got it?
Yep, I'm on it.
Okay. You're gonna have to cheat a little on this one.
Scary business. It is a beautiful day though. Beautiful, beautiful. There's the view. What a view, mountain. All the way around.
Down there.
Let's get back up here if I get in trouble. Oh, coming out. Gotta go.
So this is what I'm talking about. We're gonna cut out that piece for the north face, the right hand piece, right? So we measured, we're gonna go to the center stud. So we gotta go up 55 inches. So we'll come up 55. We're gonna mark 55 right here. And anytime you can use the pre-formed edges from the factory, that's gonna be way straighter than anything I can cut. Now, maybe you can cut better than that. I can't though. So I'm gonna use this sheet because I can. And these sides are there. So 55, right? 48 across the bottom. We're already there. 48 there. We're gonna come up 3 inches because we still have a titch of a gap right there. So I'm gonna come up my 3 inches here, make my mark at 3 inches, and then we're gonna snap a line from the 3-inch mark to the 50-inch mark, and then we're gonna cut that, and this will slide right into place. So let me just double check all my math, right? Measure twice, cut once, that's 3 inches. 55 inches, right? That's what we said, 55 inches. Right there on the money. I'm gonna hand this end of this chalk line to my beautiful assistant. She she's gonna put that right on the corner and hold that down tight. I'm gonna pull it right to this edge. No, not the corner. She's going to 3 inches. Right on the 3-inch mark at the edge of the board. I'm going right here to my 55 mark, right at the edge of the board. I'm pulling tight and snapping the chalk line, if I can get it. Gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm out of chalk. Yeah, about out of chalk. So that explains it. I can see it good enough to cut it. So, all right, so now I'm just gonna rearrange these sawhorses so I can cut this thing, and then we'll pick it back up on the ladder, see if this thing fits in place. All right, so like I said, we put this 8-foot sheet here, got it lined up, and then almost did a Pythagorean theorem kind of thing. I know, shocker, shocker, how much I love that. But essentially, I just measured from the edge of this 8-foot board over to my corner, then from here up to where it meets the, I guess the top plate for these rafters, and then cut it, snap the line, and cut it. So it came out to be like 50.5 inches tall, 46 inches wide. I just snapped the line, and it, Bob's your uncle, fits perfect. So you could do the math, but like I said, I just measured it out, and it fits snug as a bug in a rug. So we're just gonna keep nailing this in. The same thing on the other side, and then we'll figure out the top here in just a minute. We should have moved the ladder over. How does that center look? Can you tell?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Uh-huh.
Well, there you go. Snug as a bug in a rug. I think it's a little off on the top of that, but I think that'll be okay. But everything else is nice and tight. It fits right in. Easy breezy. Let's nail it in place. Yep, it's kind of a 50-50 goal today, right? So as you can see, we got it done. We got all of the exterior sheathing, whatever you want to call it, it's all done. I was hoping to get done the Tyvek all the way around the house. You saw we got the south side, we got that house wrap up. I was hoping to get the rest done. We just ran out of time. I think if you're ever gonna do this yourself, I think that second way we went was just put one sheet up where you know it'll fit, like we did with that 8-footer, and then just measure and cut across. It was super simple. So yeah, you can do other crazy wacko bazoo math, but you know, unless you're a skilled tradesman, which I am not, I would highly recommend doing this instead of trying to do that, because I couldn't get that math to work out to save my life. So I think we're gonna call it here as a video. So yeah, exciting. I mean, you can see we got a bunch done. Sure, we got to get these holes closed up, got to get some windows and doors in. I got to straighten out that underlayment up top. We got a little bit of piddly work to do, but super exciting. I am stoked that we got as far as we did this weekend. Just Sean and I mean, we really only got to do about maybe 9 hours of work altogether in 2 days, just because of running around and back and forth and everything we had to do. That's all we had time to do. So again, I've said it in other videos, and I know God is testing me. You got to be patient. You got to go slow. Make sure you do things right. And this stuff takes time. I know we condensed it down to a 30-minute video, but it's taken us all day, really 2 days to do both of these ends. So take your time, do it right, get it straight, square, plumb, all that good stuff, and I think you'll be happy with the results. So as always, we are absolutely blessed to be able to do this. We're even more blessed that you're along with us on this journey. especially as we progress, now that we're actually building this mini cabin, truly blessed. God is good, and every day you need to count your blessings. So thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. As always, if you like this content, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the little bell icon so you know when we post new content. I'll post a video up here. It'll probably be something related to this or the pole barn, or who knows. Maybe I'll let YouTube select it and get some numbers up on something else. But thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. As always, be safe. We'll see you next time.